Well, here we go. Today's Wednesday walkabout, and Stuart requested that we just do a classic Wednesday walkabout where I just give you an idea of what's going on where. Hopefully by now you guys are not sick of the cottage garden. I know I've spent a lot of time here in preparation for the garden tour, but also because it is spring and I know how ephemeral this season is. So I want to spend as much time in my own garden enjoying it as possible. Soon enough we'll be taking tours of other gardens and other places, but right now I guess I'm just going to be a little bit selfish because I want to savor every moment here. And I think, Stuart, if you torque back that way, you'll see why it's really looking beautiful. It's about to peak, and I don't know, I just think we all deserve to spend time in our gardens when the weather's nice. So what do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so the devil is in the details, I think, when you are having a garden tour, really trying to present your garden in its best light. So today I'm just taking care of some of those details. I have pruned a lot of the boxwood. I pruned a lot of it yesterday evening, but I am being cautious of my back, and so Victor is going to come today and he's going to help me with some of the remaining ones, but I personally am doing all of the boxwood villages. These are the better boxwood villages that I planted a while ago, and some of you have asked, what is a boxwood village? Well, it is just when you do not have larger size specimens available, you just put them together, 1 gallon sizes together, and you just make a little village of them, and sooner or later they all grow together in a very sweet way. Now I've noticed, and I may have pointed this out yesterday, I've noticed that in a couple of the villages I have some outlier candidates. Okay, but you can see this one in this little village, it's a different variety than these. Its growth pattern is different. It's more vertical. These are probably Babylon Beauty, I'm going to guess, and this is probably a Heritage or a Skylight. When I planted them, some of them, the markers had fallen off, so I wasn't 100% sure. Over here, it's really obvious that this one is an outlier and it's different than these. So what I'm doing today is I am taking those outliers out, and I will create boxwood balls out of them, and as I said, I think yesterday, I'll plant them someplace else. Now, a fun consequence of doing this is I had one in here yesterday in this little divot in this boxwood village. See right in here? Yeah, okay. Now it's created this little, I don't know, this little swirl right here, and then I'll be able to plant something in that, and it kind of reminds me of those wavy undulating walls on the campus of the University of Virginia. And yeah, and they kind of go like this, and they create little microclimates within, that's why I almost said Monticello. They create little microclimates within these little divots, and so I think I swallowed a bug, Stuart. Yeah, it happens. And so anyhow, I kind of like the effect. So the divots may just remain, and I think it's just kind of fun. Always be observant for little opportunities. Okay, so I've got a mat out here, and I've got my little stool so that I'm not bending over. And I told Stuart that yesterday I got this stool for me to work in the garden, and then Hubs was using it as a footrest, and I had to tell him, okay, get your feet off there because I need to use it. So, okay, Stuart's such a good guy. I was practically coughing right in your guys' face. And Stuart went in and got me some water. So in this one, I've got this boxwood village here. Here is an outlier, but this is just how easily it comes together. So I put down a little bit of a mat so that some of it will fall into or onto the mat. None of this, however, that I'm pruning. As soon as I say that, Linda, it's not falling onto the mat. And part of that, I could do a great big surround, but sometimes that's a little bit more trouble than it's worth, and I'll just get my garden gloves and clean that up. It's also more difficult, understandably, because I'm planted so densely that there's other plants around it. That would concern me more, all of this this cut off boxwood foliage falling into the garden if it had spider mite or was diseased in any way, but it's not. And so I will just kind of, that which I can't collect, I will just consider mulch. And this is something that any of you that grow boxwood, you're well aware of this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. And that's that you can start pruning it really in late winter as soon as you start seeing new growth, or just right before new growth. But I typically prefer to do most of my really dramatic pruning like this after the new growth has already come out. That way I'm not doing it twice. And the other thing is I wait a little bit for this foliage to mature. Otherwise, when it first comes out, it's sometimes kind of floppy and it flops over, and then I don't get a good clean profile. Again, this is stuff you guys already know. But if you are new to gardening and you are new to boxwood, then it helps, I think, to point these things out. See the difference there in kind of the growth pattern? So what I'll do is I'll come in from behind and I will dig that up, and I'll show you that momentarily. I have to scooch back. The one thing about pruning with a stool is it may be better for your back, but it's not quite as efficient because you have to keep repositioning your stool and your pruners. But we all make sacrifices and adjust as we must. Okay, let's take a break here and we'll dig out that bad boy, that outlier, and see what it looks like. Well, with a little bit of effort to identify which plant was which and donning my high C garden boots, I was able to get it out. And I think this is probably a diffvariety too, so I may or may not take that one out, but see how it creates a little planting opportunity in there once I clean the rest of this up and clean it back. And remember that over time these are going to continue to grow. Ideally, don't do what I do. I planted very densely, partly just because I'm impatient and I wanted immediate gratification, but also because this is my work and it had to look pretty fabulous almost immediately. But the best case scenario would be to exercise patience and also exercise proper plant spacing so that everything has a chance to grow in over time. That said, I think most of us, we just want it to look more mature more quickly. And the one thing about boxwood and overplanting boxwood is they transplant very easily, especially this better boxwood. It transplants very, very easily. So if it does get overcrowded, then I can just move it and create another specimen. And look how beautiful this is. Maybe it's a topiary. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Looks like it might take on a conical state. And you can see over here, here is a better boxwood. This was a skylight that I planted there, and I pruned it into a conical shape. It needs a little bit more trimming, but this will work out and it will be a wonderful looking cone in no time at all. And here we go today, my outfit du jour. The all black edition, Stuart said, with the exception of my coffee cup, and I'm holding it because so many of you asked me where I got these coffee cups, and I will put them in, I will put the link in the description box below. I got them off of Amazon and I really love them. They're just a good size and they feel comfortable when you hold them, which I think is important in a mug. So I guess I'm channeling Jackie O or Audrey Hepburn today. So I've got my great big Ray-Bans on, and I got these off of Poshmark, made in Italy. And what I like about them is they protect even more of your face. So that's that from Poshmark. My earrings I got online, and these are comfortable. And my sister had some. My sister Meg had some, so I had to have some too. My top I also got online, I think off of Amazon. I'll double check. I got this in several colors. My breeches are Athleta. These were a gift from my kiddos. And I also, let me see the brand of my shoes. They are, oh my goodness, they're naturalizers. So everything that I can find a link to, I will put in the box below. You guys have asked that I start doing the outfit of the day again, so I'm going to try to be good about that. So that's your outfit du jour. Okay, so here is something else that needs to be taken care of, but this is something that I am going to have to wait till Victor gets here. We put all the Agapanthus, look, this one's got a bud on it, big fat bud. We put the Agapanthus in these faux stone urns, and then we set them up here just to get them out of the way while we were doing pathway work. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to plant this in here. Sadly, in last winter's really harsh winter, I lost what was planted in here before. But I think planting a smaller variety in here that will really establish itself in a very large pot might be a little bit more amenable to those extra low temperatures that we have. So same thing over here. I'm going to give these guys a great big feed, and here is a boxwood that I removed yesterday from one of those boxwood villages. So we will put these in here, we'll get them pruned up. Victor can help me with that, and then this area will be tidied up. I'll give these Agapanthus a beautiful feed, Stuart, right here if we can. Let's put some pictures of Agapanthus. These are from the Southern Living Plant Collection, and these will hopefully start blooming their heads off. And when Victor gets here, I will decide exactly where these are going to be positioned. Now let's take a break and we'll move on someplace else. Okay. Another detail that always makes your garden look more fresh is to deadhead and remove anything like spent tulip bulbs. So I've got a number of them here. I'm pulling them out, and if they come out clean, the bulb intact, I'm going to try seeing if I can get them to perennialize back in the alley. If they don't, then that's okay, because they're not going to come back anyway, and I will just dispose of them. Now the nice thing about this is no matter what, it always makes your tulip stand look fresh. Now here is something that sometimes is a little garden gift, and I think it's always fun. And that is, look at the complexity of that. It's beginning to set seed. And look at how beautiful that is. Sometimes if it's yeah, isn't that cool looking? If it's especially fresh and especially beautiful, then I will use just the innards as a cut flower, and I will add it to a vase of just other greenery and things. But look how beautiful that is. I sometimes even think that just the stalks that are devoid of their petals, even before they start doing some wonderful dance like this, are also just inherently beautiful. So sometimes I will just use the stalks of a deep-petaled tulip, and I will put those in a flower arrangement as well, because I mean, isn't that just gorgeous, truly? Okay, so Hubs has two responsibilities in the front garden. One is to keep the doggy bowl filled with fresh water, and the other is to keep the bird bath clean and filled with fresh water, because obviously I can't be trusted to do that. He already cleaned it out once and it's already dirty again, but it does have fresh rainwater in there, so we'll take care of that. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is if you have hollies like mine right now, and some of the leaves are turning yellow and the hollies are looking a little bit distressed, don't worry about that, especially if the dropping leaves, the yellowing leaves, are on the interior of the plant and the interior of the branches, because those are just aging leaves that need to fall off as it starts putting out new growth. If you don't see new growth, or if the yellowing of the leaves is at the end of the branches or at the tip of the branches, then you might be concerned. But I see all sorts of new growth here. And so I am pretty content with this. I think they're happy. I'll probably give them a feed this year, because I think this area up here tends to chlorotic conditions a little bit, where they might need a little bit more iron, and I will probably come back at a later time and do some tip pruning on these. But I think that this is just a really beautiful hedge. So some of you have inquired, this is a garden design thing, have inquired why would I want to separate myself from my neighbors. Well, I love Lori and she and I visit all of the time, but I do like having some privacy here, especially because I get so many visitors coming from both directions. The other thing is, this is a brilliant wind screen for those winds that come in through the west and the southwest, especially as those two, that Oakland holly, I've got 2 Oakland hollies over there, grow up. It makes a really nice screen. If they keep growing out this way, will they encroach on all of my white wedding hydrangeas? Yes, they will, which is why I will tip prune them back some and make the canopy a little bit tighter. Over time, I might find that I want to limb them up from the bottom completely and have them in more of a classical kind of tree form with a trunk exposed and then the foliage at the top. But that's not for a while yet. Right now, I just love the way they look. I love the fact that these are going, that I'm gonna have so many berries, so many flowers, and let me tell you, the bees just love these flowers once they pop out. So that's just a little bit of commentary on the holly hedge, and all of the hydrangeas are coming out. They're coming out just fine, and let's just say I can't wait. But if these hurry up, then that means the tulips will hurry up and expire, and I don't want that to happen either. So I guess we need to just be careful what we wish for. Well, if you haven't checked out the edibles that are in the Southern Living Plant Collection, I would encourage you to do so. These are some of the blueberries right here. And they're rabbit eye blueberries, but more importantly, aren't they just so sweet? They're little, look at the bells. Let's do a close-up here. Before they turn into blueberries, look at how sweet the flowers are. And even though
like blueberries themselves.
Yeah, and even though I want the blueberries, I also want to use some of these sweet little bell flowers before they turn into blueberries in some flower arrangement. So I'm willing sometimes to sacrifice some blueberries to be able to use it for cut flower bouquets, because I think they're so beautiful. And that's just another example, like the tulip stems, the tulip bud after it has gone to seed, of looking very carefully at different really unique things in your garden that you can use as fodder for your vase. Well, it has been an absolutely banner year for the sunshine ligustrum. And this is another, I think, example of just looking at things in different ways, whether it's a thrift store find. How can you use it for its intended purpose, but how could you also use it for a unique purpose, something just kind of uncommon? Well, it's the same way with plants. Look at them and try to really deconstruct and then execute what potential they might have. So a sunshine ligustrum can be a topiary, it can be almost a small tree. Some of them get that tall. It can be blousy and loose in form, great for the birds, or it can be a little bit formal, clipped into a ball shape like this. It can even be used as contents for the window box like I've got. So just, and Stuart, you might pan over there. See, yeah, see over there? Yeah, you can limb it up and you can expose its legs, or you can let it just be kind of twiggy and fluffy and loose, a little bit wilder for the garden, so that birds and things have all sorts of places to hide and play. So just anything in your garden, try to imagine it in a different form, in a different way that you could use it, or in a different shape. Just always try to think outside the box of what you've got in your own garden. So slowly but surely, all of the tulips along autumn's edge are beginning to change color. You can see that there's a number already in bloom, but there are also a number that haven't even opened yet. And I bet they're going to be opened by Saturday. But as you progress along this path, let's stop right here, because so many people wanted to know the name of this sedum. It's a sedum hybrid, and it's called Rockin' Round Superstar. It's a proven winner. There are a couple of different varieties that are very similar to this. One of them is called Superstar. I think another one might be called Pop Star. But it's really, really beautiful. It's just a stone crop. And if you want to take a screenshot right here of what it looks like, you'll be able, I'm sure, to find something at your nursery or at your garden center that resembles it. But that's what this is. It is Rockin' Round Superstar. And Stuart, I'm going to send a picture that you can put up right here that shows what it looks like when it's in bloom. Well, here's another example of just a petalless stem. This was a single bloomer like this, and even that is so fascinating, I think. In fact, sometimes I've made little bouquets of nothing but these stems and created tiny bouquets out of them, but it's really, really sweet. This one that I showed you earlier, this was a double form, and it's why there's so much more complexity to it. But it's just beautiful, and I love the color. I love that limey green spring color. So even when they're done, they're not done. Garden, but they're nice pests, aren't they?
Let's see if we can catch any butterflies.
Oh, you are? I haven't seen any butterflies today.
There was we thought white butterflies, and they thought they were too fast.
Were they the white butterflies?
Yep, yes. In a tree. Under a tree. So
Yeah.
funny.
Those little ones. I don't see any of the white ones, but pretty soon we'll hopefully.
Butterflies pollinate too.
I know they do, and so do bees.
We don't see any pollen in any.
We don't see any pollen. Well, do we see any good honeybees? Let's look for some good honeybees.
Oh, I saw one. I saw one on this workhouse.
Oh, you did? Oh, well, I haven't seen them yet. I saw some yesterday on the tulips. Did you see any on the tulips? Oh, look, there's one. Yeah. Oh, it won't get you. Look, that's a big bumblebee. Look at that. It's okay if we leave it alone, it'll leave us alone.
That's
and
exactly
it'll
it.
just play with the. It'll just.
It's pollinating.
Isn't it? It's a big one, and I just saw a little one too.
Peter, it's going away.
It's going away.
If you're
You know
nice
what?
to bees, they're nice to you.
You know what those are going to turn into right there? Those little flowers right there. Those are going to turn into blueberries.
Blueberries. I want blueberries.
You want blueberries? Okay, well, when those turn into blueberries, you bring a little basket over and we'll pick some. What do you think? That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, Clara loves roly-polies, don't you, Clara?
Yes, I do. Get it. You got it?
Did you get it?
Yep. Got it. We gotta bring it to him.
You're going to bring it?
Uh-huh. Butterflies! Butterflies! Butterflies are coming out!
There they are. But you know what? Those are the butterflies that Miss Linda doesn't like.
I like them.
But you like them. Well, you know what? then that's a good attitude.
That's awesome.
That is a good attitude, isn't it? Where'd it go?
I got the really cool.
But you got the roly-poly, even if you can't catch the butterfly. You know what let's do? We're gonna let's make a little bouquet and we'll walk it down, we'll give it to your mamas.
Oh, look, it's curly. It's curly.
Okay.
Look, it's crawling on me. Look, he's crawling on
It's crawling on you. I don't think I have ever known somebody that likes roly-polies as much as Clara does.
I saw the butterfly.
There it is. There it
Catch
is. You know what? We might need to get a butterfly net for you guys because it's pretty hard. So Claire, do you like this sweet little bouquet?
Yeah.
Okay.
The roly curly.
Yeah.
Butterfly. Butterfly. Catch
Butterfly. I think that one's going to be hard to catch because it's in the hollies with stickers.
It. Peter, catch it. I can't. It's so far away.
Okay, come on. You know what? Let's go see your mamas for a minute. Let's go see your mamas for a minute and bring. Okay, show me where they are. Show me where they are. So you moms are going to say on camera so that my followers know that when the kids are on my channel, I have mother's permission when they just, yes,
Miss Linda is the best
People
neighbor
are right
ever.
to be concerned.
this is Miss Clara's mama, and this is Peter and Yala's mama.
That's
Oh,
Right,
wow,
our
nice to
neighbors.
meet you.
And look
They
what
love
we
Miss
put
Linda.
together, a little bouquet, and you two can have a wet t-shirt fight over it and see who gets it.
Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, I dropped some.
And you drop some.
Oh my goodness, that's
Well,
so beautiful.
So Clara,
Inspiring garden.
So
yes.
You might want to find a little vase for
and Clara has an older brother named Julian. And Peter, what is your older sister's name?
Yalla.
Nyala, right, Nyala.
It's a pretty name.
And she's 6 years old, and I'm 4 years old.
Oh my goodness. Wait, are you getting gray hair yet? Are you getting gray
You're
hair
growing
yet?
up. You're getting so
I
old.
know, you're getting so big.
That's not the one
You are the roly-poly, you are a roly-poly wrangler
Yes.
because nobody likes roly-polies like she does.
That's awesome.
And
Okay.
She goes and puts them in a fairy garden.
Oh, yeah. Well, they need residents
Best
too.
place for them to be. Yes.
Yes.
Come here, Claire. I'm gonna put so you can play it with the roly polies and meditate. Come here.
And meditate.
You want to go see where you
Okay. Okay. Say goodbye.
Thank you.
Say goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
They're busy. They got things to do.
They're busy. They've got things to do. Yeah, so many of my followers are always concerned when I have children on my channel. Do you have permission from the parents? Yes, I have permission.
Always ask.
Always ask, and yes, I do have permission. And in exchange, they share their children with me, which is just the best.
Claire thinks that Miss Linda is her own personal friend and that it's her own personal garden, and she wants to come every day. to
Well,
say
it's
that.
because it's true. She is my own personal friend. She is my most personal friend. See you guys.
Thank you.
Linda, thank you.
Okay, and now for some uglies. But on the way to uglies, let's look at the sweet peas. Look at how much they're growing. I might even get
Oh,
a
wow, that's
bloom
way
out
more
of
than
them.
last
I
time.
know. I might even get a bloom out of them before it gets too hot, and they croak. Okay, so here's the uglies, and I'm showing you this because for the garden tour, I'm going to have this all cleared out. And so anybody who may not feel foot sure enough to walk along the stepping stones, which albeit is a little bit more lovely, they will move all of this and they can walk down this very level pathway. Here is my holding pen for the tulips that I pulled out with the bulbs that I'm going to transplant into the back. I'm going to lift this up. Yes, you guys definitely, everyone was in agreement that they want me to plant something out here. It doesn't get really good light back here, and there's no irrigation. It's not really close to the hose. So that's why I haven't.
lit up, it would light it up though.
Yeah, but it looks cool when it's lit up. So there's a couple of things we're going to do. I think one is I want to just get a great big Platinum Beauty Lamandra to put in here, because I think that'll be beautiful and it can handle some drought and kind of tough conditions. The other thing that I think we're going to do, and this was a suggestion from one of you, and that is to put a bird feeder here, so then we can see the birds from the kitchen window. And so I have delegated that to Hubs, who is the big bird watcher in our family, and so he is maybe for Easter he's going to get us a new bird feeder that we can put right here, a birdhouse or something. So it'll have to look like the cottage. So so it may take some time for us to find what we want. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. I'll clean this, but you know, this is a practical storage area. So while I'll make it passable and I'll make it look a little more tidy, I don't mind that they're going to see this all here, because this is just storage stuff. And obviously we will move this. This is Hub's hammock holder. We'll move it and out of the way. And then, as I mentioned and a number of you suggested, I do need to have a little bit more color over here. I've added some color just with some pots of geraniums, and I have some dragon wing begonias. Stuart, if you turn around carefully, you can see that I did tidy up all of the terracotta on these shelves. Because you asked, the shelves came many years ago. Hubs had these in the outdoor studio that we had at the other house. It's really a piece of indoor furniture, but it's held up remarkably well outdoors. And even if it doesn't hold up forever, I'm okay with that, because I believe in using what you have. Even, you know, better to have it out here being used, and I might have to replace the wood planks eventually, the wood shelving eventually, than having it sitting in my garage, getting dusty and not getting any use. So even things that are potentially for indoors, again, just like plants, look at them for alternative uses. Is there some way that you can use it outdoors where it would be a practical solution? So this is tidied up. I've got some dragon wing or angel wing begonias there. And the bike obviously will be put in the garage. And this is the week, I think, Stuart, we're going to have to say bye-bye to the tulips. They look pretty beautiful right now. And then I'll still clean up. This is my job for today, is to clean up this table over here. I haven't done it yet, but I will. And there's just a couple more things we have to do, but we are near the finish line. And then after that, after the tour, I think all day Sunday, I'm either going to A, work on my taxes, or B, more realistically, just sit out here and enjoy the results of all of our labors. So, hope you guys aren't too tired of the cottage on the hill. The garden's here in the front and back. But boy, I've sure enjoyed it, and I sure enjoy having you guys along. So you guys take care, and you have a wonderful Wednesday as you walk about your own garden.